Good morning. This is Mike, and we're looking at the most important elements of racing. We're going in for a start. We're going to analyse the 9 Gold Fleet races to see what the winners have done to improve their performances during the race, and just looking at the various elements from setups to strategies to starting positions, and that's what we're going to focus on today. So we're going in for a start. This is gold race number 1 for the DF65 Global World Championships in Sweden. And this race is very interesting because it will highlight in particular the strategies which are employed by 514 to win the race. So going in for a start right now. As you can see, a very good lineup here on the starting line. And they're away. The weather mark on the furthest mark was favoured, and we had an extremely good start by number 90, who was up there on the weather side, and 5-1. So both of those boats got away pretty quickly. What's interesting in this race is the variations in the breeze, and this is the first race of the day for the Gold Fleet, and the breezes are dropping. So that's provides some challenges for the competitors. You can see there's been a split of the fleet as some people have gone to the right-hand side. Their 514 is tacked back on to starboard tack, but there's other boats going further out looking for that shift. In particular, the winning fleet, his number 90 in particular, has gone up the left-hand side and now tacking across to pick up that shift. Tacking really at the finishing marks and going straight across there so that they've got a direct lay line up on starboard to the final mark. You can see here 22 and 514 have gone out on a little bit of a hope and a prayer. But it looks like there's a knock going across there on port tack, and that has favoured 5-1 in particular and 90 in particular, who are moving pretty quickly to go around that top buoy in first and second place. That's 5-1, John Tushingham from the UK, followed by Odd from Norway. They were the top 2 boats in the UK National Championships, and now going extremely well in the first Gold Fleet race, number 1, with the rest of the fleet coming through. What's interesting is the Swedes have dominated the Gold Fleet due to their knowledge and of the conditions, and they have really sailed well in these lead-up races and the heats to have the dominant fleet. However, we've got some champion sailors from Australia, from the UK, and from Norway, who are really challenging and making good time and good boat speed, but more importantly, making great decisions. You can see going down here at the moment, and I spoke with some of the main contenders here, and they believed that there was more breeze out on the right-hand side of the course, so they decided to go to the left-hand gate, because that appeared that there was more wind out on that side. However, the sole person who didn't follow that strategy was Andrew Gibbs from Australia, sailing in 514, who went around the right-hand buoy down the bottom here and came into effectively the wharf to try and pick up a shift and benefit from that shift. I asked Andrew why he did that, and he said, well, he studied the form and had some graphs or detailed schematic drawings, which indicated that in the lighter conditions, the favoured side was the left-hand side of the course, particularly nearer the wall, where you had a build-up of pressure, a little bit more pressure on that side, and as a result of that, decided to, as the breeze was dropping, he felt that that was more of a preferred position to sail the second upwind leg. You can see here 5-1 has gone out further, and the breeze is dropping. 5 has also come across to the left-hand side of the course with 22, and just in the close, 514. 514 has importantly got a knock and has more pressure than they have further in the distance. You can see there's a lot of boats floundering around at the moment. And his strategy was basically to tack across to the finishing buoys and then come back in on the ley line. So his strategy seems to have been paying off at this particular point in time. He's moving pretty quickly through the water. He's got more pressure than the other boats around him. And that is to do with his planning and understanding the conditions in the heats and the way they developed, particularly in these lighter breezes. There was obviously in the lighter breezes, there was an advantage coming in to the wall where there was more pressure and a little bit of a variation on the breeze, which was favouring the left-hand side of the course. Going up to the second top rounding, we have 514 in the lead. That's Andrew Gibbs from Australia. Around about 30 metres ahead of the next boat, which is 90. 90 sailed extremely, is sailing extremely well. He's picked up a nice little shift there. You can see the advantage he's taken by picking that shift up at the moment. But as he comes into the top mark, he will be knocked and will be behind 514 at the top mark. But 90 sailed a strategically good race, apart from making a mistake of going to the right-hand side of the course on the second upwind leg. You can see here also what 514's strategy has been. There was more pressure on the downwind leg on the near side, near to the camera. So 514 sailed towards that pressure. You can see he's coming into the wharf a little bit now to generate extra pressure on his sails and sail fast downwind. So we've got 514 in first place. That's Andrew Gibbs from Australia. Second place, we've got number 5, a Swedish boat. That's Krista, and he's sailing particularly fast. And we've got Odd in number 90 in third place. Those boats, in particular 5-1, who was at the running first, who went right, made a bad choice of going right on the second upwind leg, and that has cost all of those players dearly. See one boat in the distance there with a little bit of weed around his boat, which has slowed him down. But 514 is sailing particularly well. It'll be interesting, and he does decide to follow the same pattern that he sailed in the first part of the race. Despite the weather mark being, or the better mark being the left-hand gate, you can see that his boom's out, and obviously the weather mark is the left-hand gate, and he still goes for the right-hand gate to benefit from the additional pressure nearer to the wall. You can see he's going up to the finish now. What is interesting, if you look at his settings on his mainsail, I spoke to Andrew about this, his jib boom is a fair way out. It's actually on the gunnel, and that's because he forgot to adjust his in-out position on his transmitter, and as a result he wasn't sailing a very good VMG. So you can see his boom's actually out near the gunnel in these lighter conditions. Would normally sail at about 6 mil further in, right on the inside edge of the gunnel. You can see it there, it's a little bit far out. Number 5 in particular is sailing, I think, is it 5? Yes, 5's gone out and followed that same pattern, which didn't really work out the first leg. And what you're seeing here is an extension in 514's lead, and he's going in for a finish. Well done, 514. Great sailing. So importantly, what the important part of this whole conversation is, he had a strategy, he had a plan, and he worked the angles well, and got to that top mark faster than anyone because he had effectively more pressure. Coming in second place, we just view back here. They're all catching up at this point in time. Number 93. Number 90